Just hours after Naoya the Monsterino's hard-fought triumph over Ramon Cardenas as the undisputed super bantamweight champion, the boxing world was left in amazement when he called for an instant rematch during his post-fight news conference at T-Mobile Arena. Still showing the physical scars of their violent meeting, fresh swelling on his face and the fight's energy obviously still coursing through him. In no way did the unusual statement that he wants to run it back with the only guy to genuinely challenge him in recent years. Normally calm and measured in victory, the Japanese superstar spoke with uncharacteristic urgency as he announced through his translator, "I want to fight Ramon Cardenas again as soon as possible," adding that the challenger had earned this chance after pushing him to the limit in what became the most dramatic fight of Inoue's championship reign. The night Inoue's aura of invincibility was really tested when Cardenas landed with a brilliantly timed counter right hand in the second round that brought the pound-for-pound king down to the canvas for just the second time in his 30-fight career will be remembered as their first clash. Although Leno showed his championship medal by progressively taking control of the battle and then winning an 8th round TKO, the harm to his reputation as an unstoppable force had already been done. CompBox statistics showed how really competitive the battle was. Cardenas scored 38% of his power punches, the greatest percentage any opponent has achieved against OA since 2019, while the champion took 96 total strikes, more than he has taken in any fight over the last 5 years. The ideal storm for the surprising rematch request was produced by these figures taken together with the spectacular knockdown and Inoue's clear discomfort at various times throughout the fight. Sources close to Inoue's camp disclosed 3 main reasons behind the surprising request for an instant du jour, with personal pride seeming to be the main driver. The knockdown obviously hurt the usually unflappable champion more than he openly indicated. According to people that know Inoue best, he was quite impacted by being put on the canvas for just the second time in his professional life. Beyond hurt pride, there were real technical issues that came up during the fight, with Inoue's team pointing out particular defensive failures in his strategy they feel can and had to be fixed before he advances with his career. Perhaps most crucially, since the champion knows letting questions about this performance to linger might damage his otherwise great record as he considers a move up to featherweight in the near future, legacy protection becomes paramount. Cardenas, still undergoing his post-fight medical exam, immediately accepted Inoue's rematch challenge, telling reporters via his team, "Tell the monster, I'll put him to sleep next time," and adding that the second-round knockdown was just the start of what he had in mind. Never one to shy away from bold claims, his coach Robert Garcia reaffirmed his fighter's confidence by saying, "We have the blueprint now," and maintained that the knockdown was not just a lucky punch but rather the outcome of careful study and strategic planning that could be even more powerful in a second meeting. With both guys now having something to prove and neither ready to back down from the fight, Team Cardenas' passionate reaction sets the scene for what might develop into one of the most intense rivalries in the lower weight classes. The unexpected rematch request has upset High Rank's meticulously planned strategy, as the promotion had already scheduled a NOS mandatory defense against Mariginic Model for September. When told of Inoue's backstage request, CEO Bob Arum seemed shocked. He told reporters gathered that although all parties concerned would have to be consulted on the matter, he recognized that, "We listen when Naoya speaks," suggesting the great power the champion has inside the company. Though it could postpone other planned bouts and might affect Inoue's long-term career path, the immediate rematch would surely attract notable fan attention and perhaps high pay-per-view figures. This presents an interesting promotional challenge. The boxing world has responded to this amazing event with mixed reactions. Supporters of the immediate rematch say that the competitive character of the first fight more than justifies a continuation of the rivalry, pointing to the unusual chance to see an all-time great Avenger knockdown and prove his superiority beyond question as passionate arguments arise on both sides of the discussion. They also underline the possible financial benefit, saying that a second bout might exceed their first pay-per-view figures considering the dramatic narrative now developing on the other side. Critics say Inoue comfortably won the fight on the scorecards, leading 68-63 on all 3 judges' cards at the time of stoppage, and that chasing this rematch poses an unneeded risk that might postpone more interesting fights. Insiders say the rematch may headline a December pay-per-view event, with early talks already pointing toward Allegiant Stadium as a possible site to handle the anticipated great demand, much like the long-awaited Active Showdown if approved. As the champion has usually taken longer gaps between fights, particularly after very taxing battles, this rapid turnaround would be unprecedented for an Inoue championship defense. The increased timetable reveals much about how seriously Inoue is confronting this issue to his dominance, as he seems hell-bent on erasing any uncertainty about his superiority as fast as possible. It also offers both combatants an interesting preparation dynamic since they would be confronting one another again with fresh memories of their initial meeting and little time to make important changes to their game plans. Apart from the obvious effects on Inoue and Cardenas, this unexpected event has more far-reaching effects for the super bantamweight category and boxing in general. Other top contenders such as Igmadalif and Stephen Fulton now find themselves in limbo, unsure when or if they will receive their promised opportunities at the indisputable championship. Given that this is a rare case of a dominant champion intentionally pursuing an instant do-ver rather than progressing on to fresh challenges, the scenario also provokes intriguing debates regarding championship rematch culture in contemporary boxing. Whether this is an isolated event or indicates a change in how elite fighters handle contentious performances will depend on future events, but it has definitely generated active discussion all over the sport. One thing has become clearly evident as the boxing world examines this startling turn of events. Naoya Inoue against Ramon Cardenas would be a full-fledged showdown with legacy-defining consequences, not only another title defense. For Inoue, it offers a chance to quiet critics and reaffirm his supremacy in forceful manner. While for Cardenas, it's a second opportunity to finish what would be one of the largest shocks in modern boxing history. The emotional character of their initial meeting, together with the high personal stakes now linked to the rematch, produces all the components for a possible fight of the year contender that might improve both men's careers independent of the result. Whether this turns out to be a champion's proud overcorrection or a stroke of marketing brilliance will only become obvious with time. Nonetheless, the instant impact has been to pump a bolt of electricity into the lower weight classes that haven't experienced this degree of drama in years. Boxing fans worldwide discover an interesting new storyline to follow as negotiations start behind the scenes and both sides get ready for what might be an even more severe second chapter to their conflict. One that guarantees pyrotechnics when these two warriors unavoidably meet again in the ring and personal drama, huge stakes, and nearly certain explosives. The only thing left to ask is whether the sequel might maybe match the exciting original that has the whole sports world buzzing.